Hello, boys and girls. It's time for a penmanship lesson. I trust that you have your pencil with a nice point and an eraser, and we are working on the magic C letters. We call them the magic C letters because we start by forming the capital C and use that to form the letter. Let's go ahead and do our next letter. And it starts out as a magic C, so it will start above the line, comes around, touches the bottom line. There's our magic C. We continue around and close it, just like the O, but this is the letter Q. So the Q has a leg on it that comes down, touches the bottom line. It crosses the O right on the right-hand side. Let's go ahead and do 6 quality Qs. Start out as a magic C. Close your circle and put a leg on it that crosses the circle. Remember to have good space between your letters. And be patient with yourself. Do your best. Try your best, but if you don't make it completely perfect, that's okay. If you feel like you need to erase it, do that. Try to get your Q's the same height. Okay, if you will stop writing, I'll show you the next letter, and just like always, I'll give you time to do it on your own. This next letter starts out as the magic C, comes around. When you get to here, we go straight up and then in. That's the capital G. Start out as a magic C. When we get to the bottom, straight up and in. That's a capital G. Go ahead and do 6 capital Gs. Somebody asked, Mr. Phelps, is it okay if we start our G's a little bit lower? You can. If you want to put a little bit more of a hood on your G, that's fine. I like that as well. Gives it a little more shapely form. And it is okay on your G if on the last part you want to put that little plate going on both sides like that. That's fine. Those are both acceptable forms of G, capital G. Okay, now we're leaving our magic C letters, and we've got 5 letters that are just all their own. The first one starts at the top, watch, snakes around like a lowercase c above the line, and then the opposite of a lowercase c on the bottom. You may go ahead and do your capital S's, do a C on the line. If I stop there, it would be a C on the line. But we do a mirror image of the C on the bottom. If you want to put a little more curve in your S, that's acceptable. You don't have to. This one has a little more curve on it. If you want to do it the easier way, that's okay. My C's don't go below the line, and they're all the same height. S's are tricky. Do your best. Okay, next letter. Remember, if you need more time, you can always pause it. Watch starts above the line, comes down at a diagonal, lift, go back to the top, come down at a diagonal, and cross on the line, capital A. It's a little bit wide, Mr. Phelps. Let's do another one. Not quite as wide. That's a little bit better. I like my second one much better. Go ahead and do 6 quality A's. A apple, ah, ah. Mr. Phelps, why don't you fix your first one? It's a little bit too wide. Six capital A's. Our next letter, watch. Thank you for stopping. You're not writing when you're watching. You'll have a chance. Starts above the line, comes down, touches the bottom line, put a foot on it, and then put a hat on it. Capital I. Ooh, that looks good. Go ahead and do 6 quality capital I's. Give space between your letters. Mr. Phelps is not cramming them close together. I'm giving a little space between them. That one's a little crooked, Mr. Phelps. You can do a little better than that. Today we'll finish up all our capitals, and then next time we'll start on our lowercase letters. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Starts above the line, watch, comes straight down. Touch the bottom line, lift, and put a nice hat on it, capital T. Pretty easy letter. Go ahead and do 6 capital T's. Try to keep your hat nice and straight. Capital T. You have to give lots of space between those T's. Try to keep them about the same height. One more letter today. Watch. Starts above the line like the others, comes down, curves around like a U, but when you get to the top line, stop, and then put a hat on it, just like a T. It's capital J, J. Touches the top line and put a hat on it. Go ahead and do 6 capital J's. I can look at my J's and I see they're getting bigger and bigger. So I'm going to erase my last 2 because they got a little too big. Make them a little shorter. They're not bad, but I want quality. Those are our letters today. Q, which makes the qu sound. Q always is with U. G, which says G, sometimes says J. S, S, A, and A. And sometimes aw, like in taco. I is I, IH, I, can be I, T for T, and J for J. Thank you, boys and girls. Take a picture of your work and send it to your teacher.